Today, I'm fixing my future because someone has to. If you start my savings and investment plans with Old Mutual today, then my future will be smoother than Dad's head. So you get advice from the people at Old Mutual, and I'll get those gold stars to make you proud. Any questions?
Do future doctors pack their own lunches?
Start their journey by speaking to an Old Mutual financial advisor today. Invest in their future. Do great things every day.
iDiskiTV, powered by World Sports Betting, iDiskiTimes.co.za. Orlando Pirates are through to the MTN 8 final for the fourth consecutive season. Emveni kobetha ke iMamelodi Sundowns kwi-semi-finals zaletumente for the season ka-2025-2026. And I've got Ibhakani, no, not Ibhakania. I just, yes, Lindo. We are.
Twitter legenza.
No, Mamela. Everyone here in this house, we know who you support. Suzu,
I'm supporting me. I'm not a fan of any club.
No, I'm saying Tina apparently. We know where you belong. We know where you grew up at.
Yeah.
But in those apart to small.
Who was later almost?
Ngenzeni unanhlanga ngubrakete ngithi bafethu lo muntu ngiyamazi ukuthi uphuma phi lo.
In fact, yes, this thing here, I've got a career to build, Chin. I'm not worried about which team to support. I feel that I can't subject my career just to supporting football clubs. I think I've got a bigger contribution to have. And also, I think it's very clear for me to make this thing very clear, very early also. I think I'm one of the few coaches that are very lucky to coach almost all the levels in South African football. I think my last job was APC Mtsepe, which is probably the hardest division in South African football, in my opinion. So many coaches have coached at that level. So many players that are playing at in Betway Premiership are playing at that level. So that was my last job in 2023. Lost my job against the Highlands Park. I think the clip is there. People can go and see it. Go stage football. I'm there on the touchline. I'm there doing a post-match interview after the game. They sent me an email. And you know what's funny about South African football, which is what's happening at the highest level of football. It's just that you can't expose certain things. I was actually having this conversation with Soguti. When I got that job, they actually sent me an email to be specific how they want the team to play in a 4-4-2. So I came into the job, already the team was under pressure. They didn't have resources. They didn't have the financial backing. And they had a young chairman of a boy who was there. The technical director was David Matebula. So he brought me into the job to come and save the team, implement certain structures. But the team ended up getting relegated after I left in December. But that is cool. Sundowns versus Diding. But I needed to put that very clear, that I'm more than just a fan.
I mean, Lindo, otakakwazi. I think uphila phansi kwelitye, he lives under the rock. But
Creme de la creme. Creme de la creme.
Of South African football.
The best in the country.
In fact, we just witnessed a game, in my opinion, I feel it was too tactical.
Yeah.
You saw a midfield Sundowns started with three midfielders. Orlando Pirates Nayo, three midfielders with Tito, Unduli. There was also Mbata. Sundowns, Jaden Adams, Debza, there was also Allende. What was happening there, Lindo?
Shane, to be honest with you, normally game in the first leg and the second leg, the game changes from being a player's game into a coach's game. Because now coaches who's more tactical than the other, or who can plan better than the other, which is normal. Coaches are very competitive, but football belongs to the players. In my opinion, this game was supposed to be about the players. This is where we were supposed to see player an X factor. This is the game where we're supposed to see players that are match deciders. And in my opinion, we didn't have that because obviously the coaches were too tactical, which is fine. Both of them want to win this. I believe that Miguel Cardoso, with the decisions that he made during the week, is because his mandate was very clear, Shane. His mandate was, we need the CAF champ, we need the MTN 8. The Mamelodi Sundowns fans, to be particular, they want to win this competition because this club has a history of not starting well in August. So this was the good way for us to say, hey, Buffett, season, let's make sure that we deny Orlando Pirates winning this competition for the fourth time. Because, we are giving Orlando Pirates the MTN 8. Because another thing, Shane, you need to understand, how we start the season is very crucial. There's a saying in football that says, you might not lose the league. You might not win the league. But you can lose the league. And in my opinion, how we start is very important for confidence. That's why EMTN 8 maybe is a creme de la creme competition. Why? Because it's almost like a preseason tournament. It sets the tone for the season. Orlando Pirates, this is maybe the challenge that I would give to them before we analyze the game, is to say they've always started the season well. They are always a problem in cup competition. And sometimes, Shane, to win the league, you need a team. To win cup competitions like CAF Champions League, MTN 8, Nedbank Cup, you need players with the X factor. You need match deciders. You need players that know how to play the moment. And in my opinion, that's what I understood from Coach Wadu. They sacrifice themselves. One thing that you need to identify, which a forensic moment, is that Orlando Pirates respect Mamelodi Sundowns. And rightfully so. They've got international players, they've got players that can hurt you, they've got players that can pick a pass in midfield. What does it do? He identifies the first forensic moment, Mamelodi Sundowns, to say they're a team that builds out from the back. But their centre backs don't stretch the ball. They don't play like the profile of the Orlando Pirates centre backs. But the first player to identify in terms of a progression with Debs, do not allow him to play. In the first 20 minutes, there was a debate here in studio, and for me, these are conversations that I like because they bring out the best in me. I believe that irons sharpen iron, Shane, and if we are watching the game, we are not only watching to analyze what we feel, we are not analyzing what we like, we are analyzing what the coaches are doing. And for me today, I feel that that's exactly what we are doing. In the first 20 minutes, Orlando Pirates coach are like, we are not going to allow Orlando Pirates Mamelodi Sundowns to play. We are not going to drop the line deeper because if we drop the line deeper, we are forcing Omahopa to press alone. Bese abo Tito, they are late. So for us to push the midfield a little bit higher up the pitch, we are going to push Umbogazi, Nosesane a little bit higher. But Sbanigi responsibility, I mean to say, Sbanigi responsibility of playing 1v1. Quickly, the thing that they identify is that Matthews is not going to be a threat behind. The only person that they have to control is Ulentuza, is Ikram. Usales is not one to run behind. He always wants to run him a pocket. We saw where he was driving with the ball, a progressive game. For me, the two boys, that's why Baba is Google Earth. They played exceptionally well. Firstly, defensively, they understood what the game needed from them. They've got pace. They can read the game. In any centre back, the best quality you can have as a centre back, Shane, is to read the game. Nyabona the technical ability, no mark 1v1, because if you are able to read the game, you can anticipate his name. Ukwazi ukujudge ezinye eziningi angifuni ukukhuluma ke ngepassing ability yalabafana bayithu because bayakwazi ukulocate pass. That's why baba busy Google Earth. But that's the first thing to identify. They push those boys. Those boys, they are very important in the system because they lock Ikram Renas and they deny him opportunities. But Tito has a different role. And for me, firstly, I want to credit him. Before I want to credit him for agreeing and accepting that role that he played today. Because for you, Shane, Mabazukunega a tactical game plan. Coaches come to you and they pitch this idea to you to say, hey, Ngwenya, I think you're going to have to sacrifice yourself a little bit today. And I feel that Tito Masongai today in the first 20 minutes, he sacrificed himself. Without the ball, he knew that he was not going to play. Because he had a defensive responsibility. Don't allow Tebza to turn. And in the first 20 minutes, in my opinion, Shane, they did exceptionally well. Umbata, Nonduli, did not play. And Uto identified the tactical. Two important things is the two strikers, Matthews, no Ikram Renas, they had two jobs, but also defensively and offensively. They knew that if by busy doubling, if busy 50, by Agumbata, Nonduli, sometimes Meleba charge, if Umbogazi ba free, they don't focus. Now they focus on the run. So now it's the responsibility ka Lunga, ka Grant Kekana, of the defender to pick the run. Because if Siam allow Umbogazi to have the ball, we have to pick the run. Because the boy can pick a pinpoint pass. Usiem, another thing now, he can pick a pinpoint pass. So if you are allowing them to have the ball, pick the run. But if you are putting pressure on Umbogas, which I believe that after Mamelodi Sundowns scored, they created another opportunity by creating an opportunity by pressing Umbogas. There was a pressing trap there, Mamelodi Sundowns, where they said, we are not going to allow that boy to play today. He can pick a pass. He's got aggression, he's got a mentality, he believes in himself. Psychologically, he's very strong. He's a leader at the back. He initiates the attack. He's the first progression line which they identified Mamelodi Sundowns to say we cannot allow him to play. But yeah,
devoted about Tito Guti, he sacrificed himself. He will focus on Utebza. But after 26-30 minutes, he was subbed.
Yeah.
Do you think mhlawumbe into abe ayisanele ukuthi makayenze uye wa stop uyenza, or maybe mhlawumbe coach identified something new ku Sundowns beyenza? Because we must remember, even if coach Wadu sees something, naye coach could also see something on the field naye. So do you think mhlawumbe la sub ka Tito, he wasn't doing what he was instructed to do, or maybe mhlawumbe coach Wadu saw something else, that's why he sacrificed Tito?
There's two things. It's firstly the profile of Tito. That's why I'm saying credit to Tito for sacrificing himself, because he's not a profile to chase after Tito. He doesn't have the energy and the legs and the distance. Utebza is also intelligent. Body movement. Secondly, that you need to identify is that the two midfielders were behind and were locked. So that system was never going to work because they couldn't progress the ball. Mabal Peti, Orlando Pirates ball. Yes, without the ball, it was working. But Masesil Peti, we could not find Tito because those two central midfielders were locked. I think that's why it did not work. Firstly, it's because to counter performance, part of performance is denying another team to perform. What Orlando Pirates was countering, what Orlando Pirates was doing to Mamelodi Sundowns, Mamelodi Sundowns tried to also counter that. That's why, in my opinion, I was saying it was a tactical game because the system and the formation changed more than 3-4 times in the game. And it worked. So that's why sometimes when you come here, Shane, it's very important to not speak feelings and speak what I saw. Because for me, when they put Ushandu, they were looking for two things. There's traffic.
Okay.
And this thing, Utebza, is now starting to progress the ball, which is something that we don't want. He can pick a pass from deep, he can drive with the ball, which is what these two don't do. Umaselo Allende and Utebza. Umaselo Allende has a responsibility, in shape, which also na ina negatives why, even though ina positives was, which sometimes in some feel like limit, Umaselo Allende, this thing of having a certain role with Mamelodi Sundowns. I believe that he's got the ability to join in the box. He's got the ability to pick a red carpet pass, to switch a game. He can do more than what he's doing in that role. Yeah. He can even score. He can do what. That's positive criticism. But for me, just to be identical, these two were not available for Utebs. So that made Ike something difficult in the first half to break the line, to find those special passes. Abu Matthews, Bangena Ngapagati, Ulunga doesn't give you an attacking threat. Even though he impressed me so much. But obviously, there's something lacking there in terms of offensively. He doesn't give you much offensively. So now you are relying on Usales to provide an individual brilliance. You are relying on Matthews to come with the individual brilliance. We're expecting Ule and Ikram to come in individual brilliance. Usales bega pick up moments now. I think he needs to learn to also play on the outside. That's why I'm a winger needs a certain level of intelligence to smell the game and to sense where the space is. The space is where Dion Hoto was. For me, I would have said to the coach, Sales, move on to where Dion Hoto is, because you can pick a pass. You can just -1, then find the final pass. Ikram Renas is always hungry to make a run. He's always hungry to find the space.
Lindo, before Sivali.
Yeah.
Andiyazi ngizawubuza kanjani lo mbuzo but ngizawuzama ukuthi ndiwubuze kakuhle.
Yeah.
Left back, Orlando Pirates.
Yeah.
Currently, they have Dion Hoto. I would say he is their best left back currently. Yeah. But is Dion Hoto the best left back for Orlando Pirates? Or do you feel Orlando Pirates they should make some signings left back? And when I saw John Apagut, okay, Dion Hoto is there. And we can't come here and lie and say, quick game against Imakis, for example, Dion Hoto should sit on the bench. It won't work because who do we have or better than Hoto? Currently, none. So, Dion Hoto, who will you identify? Orlando Pirates need to, because you must also remember Dion Hoto is 35, turning 36 maybe later this year or next year, meaning that there needs to be someone who's going to take over from him. Do you have any player in mind that you feel this player can take over from Dion Hoto maybe when Dion Hoto decides okay, it's enough now? Yeah,
to be honest with you, Mina, now that I'm thinking at the top of my head, there's not too many left backs that are available in our league. I think, to be honest with you, currently at Orlando Pirates is the best left back to play. But Dion Hoto also, in my opinion, the tactical structure of Orlando Pirates is asking him to do more than what he does, or more than what he has as a player. I feel that maybe with less responsibilities, more especially on the ball. That's sometimes, Shane, if you've got a player who's not good on the ball, you know how to protect him as a team. We don't give him responsibilities where in terms of he must be the last pass, assist. So Orlando Pirates relies on Dion Hoto to provide a assist. It relies on Dion Hoto to be on the final third. That's what they expect of him, because Urilem Fukeng must come on the inside. In my belief is that if you can give him just a defensive responsibility, you understand, Shane, make sure that you deal with your winger, maybe be a support of the winger. Because for me, what they're asking for him, I initiate attack, is something that he doesn't have. I think he came here, of course, there's a reason why I left back. He's got a ceiling. If he was a winger, exciting in terms of Former 1v1, I think he would have stayed in that position. But I believe that he's got different qualities. I think he offers you legs. I think he's a senior player. I think he gives a 7 out of 8 most of the time. But if you're going to ask him to break lines, you're asking him to be in the box, and let him assist, you're asking too much of him. I think Sibonile, the chance you have time. But in my belief, Omega Mdaga is available at Stellenbosch. Technically, he's very good. Defending 1v1. It's also important to find fullbacks that are midfielders like. Fullbacks that can play on the second ball, midfielders that can vary the game up. They can be on the line, they can come inside to offer an option. So I believe that now Dion Hoto, you guys are asking him things that are away from his quality.
Lindo, thank you so much. Former coach, what is that team that you were coaching?
Tammy Tigers.
Tammy Tigers. You relegated them, or you found them?
No, I didn't relegate them. I left the position because they were sending me emails. There was too much involvement.
Oh, yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I'm in this space right now, because I quickly realized that for you to coach in this country, you must coach your father's team.
Hey. Lindo Kuhle Ngosi, our analyst here at iDiskiTV. It's Orlando Pirates 4 Mamelodi Sundowns won penalties. I
Yeah.
must make it clear. Umdlalo phela ngu-1-1 first leg and also second leg 1-1. Tight game. Orlando Pirates are through to the final of the MTN8. Thank you so much for watching iDiski TV.
For breaking news, go to iDiskiTimes.co.za.
Shapunjan bafowethu igama lami Lindo Pep, the best analyst in the country. Please don't forget to subscribe to iDiski TV. Tanko.